Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and today we're celebrating Ginger over at Ginger's Corner. She has reached 3,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel, so congratulations Ginger. I'm so excited and happy for you, and I love watching your channel, and you have really awesome videos and lots of great ideas. I always get good ideas when I watch your videos. I really love seeing how you create embellishments and use up your scraps. And so what Ginger asked us to do for this YouTube hop was to create a layout using scraps. And I think that's really a fun way to create a layout, to use, use up some of your scraps, and you can get really creative with it. So Ginger has a whole bunch of people that are participating in this hop, helping her to celebrate. So y'all be sure and go check out everyone else's videos. I'll have links to their videos in the description below for you guys. So come on and please join the hop. Ginger is also giving away a $25 gift card. So please go and head over to her channel and subscribe and like her video and leave a comment so you can get in on the giveaway. Okay, so for this layout, I was thinking about what collections I have that I've recently used that I didn't have much paper for, and I was probably going to have to use up some scraps. And it got me to thinking about this collection here, which is from Simple Stories. It's Bunnies and Blooms. And I think I only have one whole sheet of paper, so one 12 by 12 paper, and all the rest of it is scraps. And I have a lot of embellishments to go with this paper. So I want to stretch this paper out as much as I can. And I was thinking about something fun to do. And one of the things I really love to do is to create a background using paper strips, like 1 inch or 2 inch paper strips. And but I wanted to change it up a little bit and just do something different. So my idea for this layout is to create a background using strips of paper and create banners across the bottom. So the picture that I'm going to be scrapping with today is this picture of my sister Terry. I just love this picture, and she has such a pretty smile, and I thought the colors in the picture would go really well with this collection. And so we're going to use this picture. Now, since I didn't have a lot of paper, I don't really have much to go with for the background. So I think I'm going to use a white cardstock for my background. And then here's the paper scraps that I have here. And the one piece of paper that I have is this one paper right here that's this pink gingham on one side and then this floral on the other side. And I really don't like this for a background, so we're not using that one. And so I'm going to go with the white cardstock, and I'm going to put banners across kind of the down here at the bottom, but not all the way to the end, just kind of across the middle. And I was thinking about what I can do to make my background interesting, since I'm just using a piece of white cardstock. And just recently I have been organizing my ink pads and trying to figure out how I can get those into my workspace so where I can use them more. And so I decided that I would go ahead and use some distress inks and do some ink blending. And also recently I received some happy mail from my bestie 𝗬𝗵𝗁, and she sent me some happy mail. And she sent me these stencils. These are Vicki Boutin stencils. It's 3 different stencils. But this stencil right here that looks like a sunburst, I just love this stencil so much. So I thought I could play around with this and make kind of like, some blue up here. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and work on my background first. So if you want to see more about my ink pad storage and organization, I just recently posted a video on my YouTube channel. It's part of the Let's Get Organized YouTube hop, and it's hop number 13, where we shared our ideas for organizing our ink pads and other types of things like glitters, embossing powders, and just pens and markers and things like that. So one of the things I just recently did was I created these swatch cards for all of my distress oxides. And I wanted to use a blue for this background. So I just went over here to all of the different blues that I have. And I think this is going to be really helpful to have these swatch cards available so that I can look at them to be able to figure out what color ink I want to use. So I really love this light blue color right here, which is the Tumbled glass. So I went over to where I have my ink pad stored, and I got the Tumbled glass distress oxide. So we're going to do some ink blending with this stencil, and then I'm using a blending brush. So this background that you see on my table is actually a glass mat from Glass Board Studios, It's 36 inches wide by 24 inches deep, and it's super awesome. It's glass, so you can do all kind of mixed media and painting and everything actually on the glass mat. It has a measurement on here with the ruler. And the other thing that's really cool about it is you can pick out an option to have the metal plate put on the back of the mat, which makes it really useful for using magnets. So we're going to be using some magnets to hold down the stencil. So if you're interested in seeing more about the glass mats, I have a link to where you can find it in the description below. I also have a coupon code that you can use. If you use Karen20, you can get 20% off your purchase. So I love this glass mat. I've been using it now for about, I think, 6 months. It's really amazing. And it's really super awesome for doing any kind of stamping or mixed media or anything like that, especially with using a stencil or holding things in place, because you can use these magnets. Okay, so I'm going to start off in the middle here, and I'm going to line the stencil up here, and I'm going to put 2 magnets on, one at the top and one at the bottom. And what I want to try to do is, I know that I'm going to put my picture kind of in the middle, so that middle part is going to be covered up. So I'm not going to worry too much about the middle. And I'm going to take this blending brush and just get some ink on it. And then I'm going to start from the bottom here and just work my way up over the stencil, because I want the darkest color to be here at the bottom. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to speed it up so that y'all don't have to spend so much time watching me do this, but it's super easy. Once I do the ink blending for this part, this stencil, you can line it up and it will cover the whole 12-inch paper, which I think is really cool. As long as you don't go over the edge, you should be okay with lining it up to where it looks like one big sunburst. So I'm just going to do this, and I want the color to just be light up at the top and dark up at the bottom. Okay, so I went ahead and did the ink blending, and I thought this over here was a little bit too defined. And so I just kept going around with the stencil. I know that a lot of this is going to be covered up anyway with my banners, so I wasn't too worried about doing more than I needed to on this paper. And then I thought it would be really cool just to do some splatters up here. So I'm going to take some of this ink and put it onto my table here just by taking my ink pad and turning it over. And then I'm going to add some water, and we're going to do some splatters onto the background. But first I got to go get some water, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I think that looks really cool. I did try to use this tool. This was something that I bought that I thought would be really cool to do splatters with, but it didn't work as well as the paintbrush, so I might need to go look up on how to use this tool, but it didn't really work well. I don't know if it was because my distress inks are so thin that this didn't work well. I think this would be really cool if I used like acrylic paint. So I'm going to have to probably do some research, but this comes from Holtz. It's a tool, splatter tool. And I might have to teach myself how to use that. I did try it out, and it didn't make as big a splatters even as my paintbrush did. So I'm just going to go with this, and let me hold this up so y'all can see how pretty this is. It's very soft, the effect of it, because so my papers are mainly pastel, and I didn't want to overpower the paper, which is why I'm using such a light color and doing something fairly light. And I think it goes really well with the paper with this color blue that I have here. And so that's going to be, I think, my background. So the next thing that I want to work on is I want to take some of these paper scraps that I have. I'm going to cut them into banners to go across the bottom. And then I'm going to also create a border, probably using a border punch. So let me go ahead and work on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished creating all of these banners using the paper scraps that I have. And to create the banner ends, what I did was I just went up the middle of the strip of paper with my scissors. And you don't want to use the tip of your scissors, because if you do that, it'll leave kind of a weird jag in the paper. So to make it smooth, I use the middle of my scissors, and I go up through the paper about however long you want your tails to be. and then do the same from either side, going up to meet the corner there that I cut. And if you don't use the point of your scissors, you'll get a much smoother banner. And I'm going to show you here, maybe I'll show you one that I did that was really bad. Let's see if I can find one. And then I'll show you the one that I just did that looks much better. I did a pretty good job on most of these. Here, I think this is a good example. So this one, I used the point of my scissors to do that. And let's see if I can get it up close to the camera if you can see. But it creates kind of like a weird jag in the paper there. And so the one that I just did, you can see here how much cleaner the cut is by using the middle of the scissors. Okay, so that's how I created the banners. And the strips of paper that I use, I didn't really pay much attention to the size. I just created them in various widths and lengths because what I plan to do is to adhere it to a piece of paper and then trim it off. Okay, and I decided to use part of my background because I got a little bit too much of this ink blending on the bottom. I don't want that to show at the bottom of my layout. So I just decided that I would cut a piece of that off, and then I'll just take some white cardstock and add it to the bottom of the layout because the banners are going to cover up most of that anyway. Okay, so we're just going to take our paper strips and go across, and I might spend just a minute arranging these. So I just want to arrange them so that I have a good variety of color going across the page. And I'm just going to do this really quickly. And you can see here I even had really big banners. One of the things I'm planning to do is to also go over them again with the smaller banner like this. So that's one of the reasons why I created some bigger ones. And let's see, I'll do blue first. Blue and then the pink. Okay, so that's a pretty good distribution of the colors. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start from this end. And I took this paper that I had, I just used my ATG gun and I ran some of the ATG across the entire length of that so that I could just take my paper strips and just add them on one at a time. This makes it a lot easier. And I want to pay more attention to the bottom of this than I do the the top, because I can always trim the top off later, because I'm just going to, so some of these that are really long, I'm probably not going to keep them that long. And this makes it really quick and easy border because you don't have to worry too much about making it all even. If I could just get it stuck down to the paper correctly. And I just want to match up the edges so I have a nice finish on it. So let's see, we're going to add this one next. And this one's quite a bit longer, so I'm going to go here. And then we'll do this one here. I might have to, I'm probably not going to be able to use all of this. I'll probably use some of these on the second layer that I have here. So we'll go with that one. And then let's do the yellow. I'm going to put the yellow one on top. Let's do the pink. And I'll go about right there. I think it adds a lot of fun interest to it if I make it, okay, and this one, oh, look at that, how perfect is that? It went all the way to the edge. Okay, so there we have that. That's the first layer. Okay, now what I can do is go ahead and add some of these on top and kind of add a second layer. Let's see, I'll put this one here, that one there. We'll do this one here. And some of these are too big, I think, to use. So I think I want to do this pink one, and I'll just cut this down a little bit and we'll make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm just going to make a tail here at the end. do something like this. So for these ones that I added to the top, I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of these and stick them on. This is a really fun way to use up some of your scraps to make backgrounds. You could do this for scrapbooking layouts, but also for cards. And you don't have to do banners. You could just create paper strips. I've done that quite a few times. I'll see if I can find some layouts that I've done. I did one just recently where I created a background of paper strips. It's really colorful. I like doing it. I like my layouts to be busy, so having a busy background is a lot of fun. I think anyway. Okay, we're going to put one more on here. Okay, so now that I have all of my banners on there, the next step is going to be just to trim this off to make it level all the way across. So that I'm going to put a border strip across the top of this. So here we go, we're just going to trim this down. And look how easy and simple that was. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab my background here. And I'm going to need to add something down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to join these two papers together, and then I'll trim it down into a 12-inch background. So I'm just going to line this up and then just join it together using some tape. You could use washi tape or anything that you have. You know, before I actually get my layout in this paint, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up over here. Because you know what's going to happen? I'm going to forget that I made that mess over there and end up putting my layout into that ink. And then I'll be crying. Okay, so now that I have this paper joined together, I'm just going to go ahead and take my paper trimmer, and we're going to trim this down to a 12-inch paper. Now we're going to come back here and add in our strip of paper here. Isn't that pretty? I just love how that turned out. So I could do either washi tape, or I could make a border out of one of the papers. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a border, but I'm not sure what paper to use. I think okay, so I do have this blue paper, and it's 12 inches, so I could create the border using this, and I think that would be really pretty because we have all of that blue up there. Okay, so one of the things that I did this year was to create a reference book for all of my punches. So let me grab my reference book so we can pick out a border to use from this layout. Okay, so these are all of my books that I have where I have punches, and here are my borders. So I have my borders divided up into frame. Well, I have some frame punches that you could use as a border or a frame. Then we have chains, and a chain is where it separates from the paper. And then I also have just borders where it creates a border into the edge of the paper. I think it'd be really pretty to use a chain just as a way to join these two papers together. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the different borders that I have here. And this way I don't have to go running around my craft room looking to see what I have that might work for this layout. I can just quickly flip through my book here and pick something out, and then just go grab that punch. Okay, so this one, I haven't backed this yet. One of the reasons why you see all the cardstock on there is because I didn't want to have this be open to where it could get damaged. So I'm going to have to eventually fix that. All right, so we have some hearts. I have so many border cartridges because I am a Creative Memories advisor. And one of the reasons why I joined Creative Memories is because I love their borders so much. Or their punches. Their punches are super awesome. And they are just amazing punches. They also have a border maker cartridge system, which is you get the little cartridges and you have a tool that you can use to create the borders. Okay, so I am debating. I want to make sure that whatever I pick is going to work here to cover that up. So let's see. I really like this flower pattern here. I think that's really cute. So maybe we should try that as a border. So let me go ahead and pull out this border punch and we'll go ahead and create a border strip. Okay, so I got that border punched out. I have to say that it was a little bit of a challenge. I had to use both my hands to press this punch. And I'm kind of spoiled because I mostly use my Creative Memories punches and they're so much easier to use. I can use it and just punch it with one hand. But this punch was super hard. But I was able to manage to get that border cut out. And look how super cute that is. I think it's adorable. So let's go ahead and grab the picture here. And I'm going to put the picture probably right about there. And I'm probably going to mat the picture with some paper. I'll have to figure out what paper I'm going to use. And then I really love the way that this turned out. It's really cute. So one thing that I noticed here is I have yellow, but there's not as much yellow over here. And I also, that this side is longer than this side, but we can fix that. I'm just going to take a longer strip of yellow paper and just add it behind this, and it'll make the border come down so that it's more even with the one over here, and it'll also add more yellow to the side of the layout. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so I matted my picture with some white cardstock, and then I found this tag that was in my stash that already had the twine on there, and I thought it went really well with the colors on this layout. And then I pulled out some of the ephemera and just started playing with it, and I think I'm going to have my title here. The title's going to be Bloom Where You Are Planted. And if you hear the whining in the background, that's my dog Bella. I think she thinks I'm not paying enough attention to her, so she's trying to get my attention. Miss Bella, can you be quiet, please? Shh, okay? You can talk later. I'll do a little video clip of you, okay? You can talk to everybody later. Okay, and we're going to do a cluster down here at the bottom of the picture, the title here, and then something up here at the top. And I really love how this layout's coming out. I didn't glue anything down yet because I wanted to try to figure out how far down I wanted my banners to go before I started gluing things down. So I'm going to go ahead and take some time to glue the picture down and then this banner border that I created, and then come back and we'll do the embellishing and add some finishing touches to this layout. Okay, so I've got everything adhered down, and I did create 3 clusters on my layout, one above the picture, one over here next to the title, and then a really large cluster down here on the bottom right. And then the other thing that I did was I actually took my fingers and I just bent the paper a little bit to create a little bit of dimension down here. And I popped up quite a few things with some foam tape. So my title is popped up with foam tape, this little flower, the birds, the butterflies, and the seed packets here, as well as these little gardening gloves. And so I have a lot of dimension, and I wanted to add something different to the layout, and so I decided to bring in some Flair buttons. So these are Flair buttons from the Yes Please PaperCrafts button shop, and I have probably close to 2,000 designs in my shop, and one of the bundles that I have coordinates with the 𝗀𝗵𝗄𝗃 Daydream collection. And so these 3 buttons that I added to this layout come from that collection. And I'll put a picture up here so you can see all of the buttons that are included in that bundle. But it does coordinate with 𝗀𝗵𝗄𝗃 Studios Daydream collection. But I think they also coordinate really well with the Simple Stories Bunnies and Bloom collection. And let me go ahead and hold this up so y'all can see all of the different dimension that's on the layout. I did go back and add a few more splatters onto the background just to kind of give a little bit more color. And so you can see all of the different things that are on the layout. And the Flair buttons that I have in my shop, they're all 1 inch. And I have 3 different styles that you can pick from, but the one that I have that I've used on the layout are actually flat back buttons. Let me see if I can show y'all what those look like. So here is a button right here, a Flair button. I do have the ones with the metal back, but most people select this one right here, which is called the plastic flat back. And it's got a black plastic backing. And what's really awesome about these Flair buttons is that they don't have as much dimension as a typical Flair button. And so you don't have to have that extra dimension on your layout. And you can just take a piece of foam tape and put it right there because it kind of dips down. So you can put a foam tape on the back, and so it's really easy to adhere it to your project. Okay, so anyway, I'll put a link to my store where you can find all of the Flair buttons if you'd like to take a look. And then the last thing I'm going to add to my layout are some enamel dots. So I have some of my enamel dots stored by color in my craft room, and they're in these acrylic drawer units. And I have, this is my yellow, I have the pink and the blue. And I'm just going to go through here and see if I can find something that'll coordinate with the layout. Then I also have these clear gem stickers from 𝗬𝗵𝗍 stamps. I really love using these in the middle of the butterflies, so I'm just going to add those to my butterflies really quickly. And I just think it gives a little bit more sparkle to your layout when you can add some of these things. And it just makes it fun to add the different types of texture to your layout. Okay, so after looking through the enamel dots that I have, I decided to use these enamel dots. They are actually textured. They have like a velvet feel to them, and they're matte texture. But these came from AliExpress, and I picked them up probably 2 or 3 years ago. And I have them stored in these plastic bags because they don't stay stuck onto this plastic backing like the other enamel dots. But I think the colors here, this light blue, the light pink, and the light yellow are going to be perfect for this layout. So I'm going to go ahead and add some onto the layout, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided to add a puffy sticker to my layout. I put this little puffy bow up here, and then I adhered all the enamel dots on. And so this layout is pretty much finished. So let me go ahead and hold it up here so you can see all of the different dimension, the enamel dots, and the bling. And I think this turned out really cute. Super happy with how this layout turned out. My favorite part, I think, is the banner with this border that I created. I think that border was just adorable. I love that it's like flowers across there. So I just wanted to remind everybody to please go and check out Ginger's channel and help her to celebrate her 3,000 subscriber milestone by viewing her videos and liking the video and subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. She has some really awesome videos, and she puts out a lot of content. So y'all be sure and go check out her channel, and also go ahead and join the Hop and check out everybody else's videos that is participating in the YouTube Hop to help Ginger celebrate. And so I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos and you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. I would love to have you join my channel. Okay, you guys, please be sure and stick around if you want to see the video clip of LilyBelle and Bella that will be at the end of this video. And that's all I have. So y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now. Hey girls, what y'all doing? Doing okay? Yeah? So what you been up to, Miss Bella? Nothing? Y'all been sleeping a lot, huh? You might need to go get your hair cut again. Especially LilyBelle. Yes, you look a mess. So, what else you got to talk about, Miss Bella? Really? Okay. Well, we haven't been doing a whole lot. Nope. Just working around the house, right? Trying to get motivated and get things organized and put away. Right? Yeah. I bet everybody's been telling me that they miss seeing you guys in the video, so I'm taking a video. Are you happy now, Miss Bella? Yeah? So she likes being in the videos. Uh-huh. You like talking to everybody, huh? Yeah, you do. Uh-huh. So we always have this long conversation whenever I get my phone out and start doing a videotape. She just talks up a storm. Y'all believe it or not, but she's really quiet when I don't have the camera pointed at her. As soon as I get my phone out and I start recording, she just goes crazy. You're a big ham. A big ham, you are. Well, you're famous. Uh-huh. I know you have your own YouTube channel. You do, uh-huh. I haven't posted anything out there in a while, but I need to. Yeah, I will do that. Okay. Oh, it's treat time. Is it time for treats? It is? Okay. I can give y'all some treats. Hi, LilyBelle. What you doing, Miss Bouncy Bunny? So she's so excited she's shaking. Okay, y'all want a treat now? Okay, let me get the treats. Here we go. Here's the treat jar. Yay! All right, I'm gonna break one of these in half. This is way too big for you guys. So let me do that. I need 2 hands, so hold on. Okay, so now we have our treats. We broke it in half. Are y'all ready to do a trick? Are you ready for your trick? Okay. See, Bella's already doing it. And then LilyBelle, you're like bouncing up and down. Okay. Back up. Back up. Down. Good job. Down. Down. Stay down. Down. Good girl. Okay, here's one for B. Here's one for LilyBelle. See y'all later. Bye. Okay, guys, that's all we have. Hope y'all have an awesome day, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.